Yo, listen, Leon was lit, yeah, but I can't wait to get back to Real Madrid. Bro, what the heck's going on here? This reminds me of, like, World War II. I was 28 at the time, and it just keeps getting worse for Real Madrid. You don't need me to tell you what's going on at Santiago Bernabeu right now is out of control. From Barcelona literally winning La Liga against them in El Clasico to Florentino Perez's press conference ramblings. From back-to-back trophyless seasons to players literally fighting each other. From the return of Jose Mourinho to a club dictatorship. Real Madrid are falling apart. Even more than they were before. Guys, you know me. Listen, this is wildly out of control. I feel like Maxwell right now. Genuinely, I don't like to make videos on a certain team or a certain topic more than twice in a short period of time. But what we're seeing at Real Madrid right now is actually unprecedented. Make sure, of course, to slap the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel so that you see any future updates, because there will be. Mbappe is going to knock out Vinny Jr. or something. It's been a heavy week for Real Madrid fans. From Kylian Mbappe, you know, fighting a coach over an offside decision in training, Antonio Rudiger slapping Alvaro, or getting slapped by Alvaro, I don't even know which order it was, to Tchouaméni versus Valverde in WWE Royal Rumble table ladders and chairs. Heavy on the table, by the way. Well, that Valverde was pretty heavy on the table when he landed on it. Cranium first. Yeah, Aurelian Tchouaméni versus Fede Valverde was absolutely clinically insane. They got into an altercation, Valverde fell onto a table, had to go to hospital, and suffered from a brain injury. Brother, he's walking around his house bemused right now. He remembers 6 minutes of a 24-hour day at an absolute maximum. The poor brother's turning up for the Champions League final thinking it's 2022 and that he's playing in it. And to think that despite all of this, and both of them getting a €500,000 fine apiece, Tchouaméni still started El Clasico against Barcelona. Do we really think that's acceptable? I'm not sure he should be starting the game after hospitalizing his teammate. Valverde was fuming watching this game at home when he saw Tchouaméni pop up on screen. Partly because Tchouaméni was on screen, partly because he'd forgotten the game was even happening in the first place. Kylian Mbappe, meanwhile, was watching this game, but slightly differently. He was at home posting Hala Madrid over on Insta, which would have been fine had his team not already been 2-0 down. He's actually taking the piss. This guy's genuinely not. He's so unserious. He's hate watching his own football club right now. Yeah, Real Madrid were beaten here. They were 2-0 down early, and that's how the game ended, because they're kind of hard. They're kind of wank, low-key. Barcelona barely got out of their stride to win this game. Marcus Rashford scoring a beautiful free kick to get things going as well. And that, of course, meant that Barcelona were La Liga champions. Apart from chanting Donde está Federico, Barca fans were also getting into Real Madrid over the fact that they'd obviously won the league here. Vinny Jr. responded, holding up 15 of the 15 Champions League titles that Real Madrid have won. All the 15 scraps that have happened in the last 25 minutes at Real's training complex. Trent was able to replay his Champions League losing video. He's traded being a club legend at Anfield for getting dicked down by Barcelona every season and watching the Vietnam War happen in his changing rooms every weekend. On the theme of that video, actually, and I think Liège put it pretty well, I genuinely believe, I agree with him, that Real Madrid's players should have been forced to watch Barcelona lift that trophy. Because the way in which they've capitulated at the end of this season, on the pitch, you know, I think they were beaten by the better team anyway, but in terms of how the entire dressing room and football club was blown up, what Barcelona have got going on is what they should be aspiring to. Lamine Yamal's burner account was going crazy. Deja vu for the back-to-back trophyless campaigns for Real Madrid. Deja vu for the back-to-back La Liga crowns for Barca. And deja vu for Olivia Rodrigo sponsoring them. Meanwhile, for Vinny Jr. and the Balloon d'Or was all he can be hoping for. Now, whilst Real Madrid players are fighting each other, I'm fighting for time to make breakfast. But it's okay if I don't, because that's where Huel come in, and hopefully with a lot less aggression than Federico Valverde. You ever find yourself having to miss a meal because you don't get the time to really prep it properly? But what I've got for you now can help fix that. Because a bottle of Huel is basically a high-protein on-the-go meal that only takes 60 seconds to make. They sent me their Black Edition powder. You literally add it to 500 milliliters of water, give it a shake, and you're good to go. It features 40 grams of protein. It's super easy, as I said, and also pretty cheap, working out at £1.79 per meal. Or you can check out their daily A to Z vitamins. Full DAX, it's got 26 vitamins in it, not because you have to do the alphabet when you drink it, otherwise Cole Palmer would be finished. What? These sparkling multivitamin energy drinks feature 26 vitamins, as well as a ton of electrolytes and natural energy. So, with that being said, it's pretty good for you. And something else that's good for you is that I've got you a deal for it too. You can get £10 off your first order above £60 with code FNG10. All you gotta do to get that is go down to the link in the description below, or check out the QR code on the screen. It's super simple, and I'm sure you guys are gonna love it. So with the football club crumbling around them, Tchouaméni and Valverde's fight, Kylian Mbappe versus the entire changing changing room, and another trophyless season, club president Florentino Perez took it upon himself to make the situation even worse. You've got to wonder, really, did Kylian Mbappe even give him actual express permission to do this press conference? Yeah, Florentino Perez unprecedentedly announced a press conference, which he never does, only really in a moment of crisis. It was very last minute, it was very slapped together, and it was the first time he's done a press conference since 2015. In this press conference, he didn't really, he didn't say anything about what was actual football related. There wasn't really much in the way of mention of the lack of trophies as far as Real Madrid are concerned, or the fact they lost the La Liga crown to Barcelona, except for the fact that he was basically calling out anyone giving him grief because of the amount of titles that he's won for the club. He called out anyone that was willing to go against him in the presidential race and looked to actually host a new set of elections, like bringing that process forward by 3 years. Bro, this press conference was him saying, look, listen, you think it's bad with me, you realize that you're done without, you are nothing without me.
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up, disappears. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
This, though, after it took him about 14 light years to attempt to use a smartphone for probably only like the 3rd time in his life. This is what Kylian Mbappe received after 47 straight seconds of Florentino typing. His arthritic hand was fighting for its life against the Samsung Galaxy S. Can I just say to Madrid's own, who went through all the quotes of this press conference, his man of the match performance, genuinely. Like, throughout this entire situation. Watching this account has been incredible viewing. It's been like watching someone who's like trying to walk across a really icy pavement and they start falling, but they fall for like a solid 30 seconds straight without hitting the ground. That account tweeted the quote from Florentino Perez that said, they think they can kick me out of the club, aka those that are lurking in the shadows, trying to go up against him in a presidential election. Instead of that, they'll have to shoot me. And the reason he's still alive and kicking at almost 80 is because the shooter is Liam Delap. Please don't say things like that, because Kylian Mbappe will take extra measures looking for a presidential promotion the next time he sees you. He said this is not a dictatorship. It is, broski. You just don't realize who the dictator is. He also said most people seem to want Real Madrid to win games 10-0 and that they could sort that out and make that happen. Real Oviedo quaking in their boots, seeing that they're next up on the fixture list. Meanwhile, some legends of the game, of Real Madrid were watching on and couldn't quite believe it. Iker Casillas simply posting a facepalm emoji over on Twitter whilst all this was going on. That was probably also in response to the potential hiring of Jose Mourinho, something that Iker Casillas isn't too happy about. To be fair, I kind of understand. Whilst I do believe Jose Mourinho could bring the best out of someone like Kylian Mbappe, maybe even Vinny Jr. as well, given his style of play and his stature in the world of football, I do think another volatile, temperament and personality in the dressing room might actually cause a diplomatic incident. Iker Casillas is actually a global ambassador for state. He'll be willing to put on some heavy bets for over 8.5 scraps per week in the dressing room. Jose, meanwhile, having seen this disrespect from Iker Casillas, will have some strong words for him at Real Madrid's next Legends match.
I'm not feeling the pressure, no. You cannot put pressure on me. No chance.
But also what Florentino Perez decided to take an opportunity here to do was to accuse Barcelona of corruption during the Negreira, what did you call me? Case from a couple of years ago, right? Where it was claimed, or where it's been talked about, that Barcelona were sending money to Jose Maria Negreira, the former vice president of the technical committee for referees for the Spanish Football Federation. For those that don't know, payments totaled around about 8.4 million euros between 2001 and 2018. And basically what Real Madrid and Florentino Perez are alleging is that they've been sending money to someone who's part of the refereeing board, which would indicate some levels of corruption, maybe favoritism from referees in Spain towards Barcelona. Now, this is an ongoing corruption case at the moment, but he basically laid it out as one of the biggest stories in Spanish football, or the biggest, which in fairness I think it probably should be, but also laid it out as fact, as something that defo is corruption. Barcelona came out and made a statement immediately. But not only that, Florentino Perez took this as an opportunity to blare out some old-fashioned misogyny, saying that 2 articles had been written by ABC, a news outlet, and that one of them had been written by a woman, so therefore she probably didn't know what she was talking about in regards to football. And then to actually quote, "Let's see that girl, for fuck's sake, she's got every right to speak her mind." There, okay, he's bringing it back slightly, and then called everybody else ugly when a female journalist journalist wanted to present a question. Real Madrid's translator will be left a little bit confused as to why he got involved in this and why he got called ugly on the sidelines.
¿Por qué dijo joderme?
There was also a quote about the European Super League, which he responded to by saying that kids in Africa should get free football. I don't really know what that means. I'm not even really sure what the correlation is, but overall it felt like some concerning answers to some of the questions and some concerning ramblings for a man who is the one man in charge of running probably the biggest football club in the world. I mean, this is a man who has basically absolute power over Real Madrid. I mean, this man has changed a lot of the statutes of the club that basically make it impossible for you to win a presidential election against him. There's a reason why he's won all of the most recent elections completely unchallenged, and that's because people know that there is quite literally no way that they can win against him. So this is a man who has absolute power, but it seems like he's a little bit paranoid about what's going on around him. But at a point where the football club is falling apart around him, if Florentino Perez wanted to call this press conference to ensure and calm people down and make sure people knew that the club was being run in safe hands, well, he didn't do that. Either way, the long and short of it is that this club is a mess from top to bottom. Florentino Perez, I don't think, is the biggest of Real Madrid's concerns right now, but I do think some of the things that he was saying in this press conference were real ramblings of an old man who maybe shouldn't be running this football club for too much longer in the future. I think there's an overhaul of players that is needed. There's certain players that are making noise that shouldn't be making noise at this club. Dani Ceballos, I'm just gonna let you know right now, you're not that guy. You shouldn't be making as much of a palaver as you are at a club like Real Madrid, because they will just sell you. It's not like you're like pivotal to the overall situation at this club. You're not pivotal to the starting 11 at Real Madrid. It's actually wild that, like, you've got the star players causing a scene, like Kylian Mbappe, Vinny Jr. in his contract extension. You've got kind of the slightly, you know, the level below that, guys who are very important, like a Fede Valverde or a Tchouaméni. They're not the star players, but they start most weeks. You've got the new players like Perez, who apparently got like attitude problems, and then you've even just got the backup dancers that are causing issues as well. But losing the league in front of Barcelona in El Clasico, I think, is the absolute most deserved thing that could happen to Real Madrid this week. That is like a, right, all of you sit the fuck down and realize the situation moment. Look around you. Your biggest rivals are winning the league right in front of you in the biggest game of the year. Sit down, shut the fuck up, stop arguing with each other, and try and get some sort of togetherness in this dressing room. Because whilst all these egos are clashing, while, you know, I know it's always been a thing. Florentino Perez said that players have always fought each other in every year that he's been president of the club, and I don't doubt that. A fight at a football club is not completely unheard of, but in this context, where you've got like 6 other fights that have happened in the last month, that is when it's a problem. This is unheard of, and I've never seen the likes of it. Plus, you've got an inside leak. This stuff's getting live tweeted 12 seconds after it's happened. But either way, Real Madrid fans, let me know what you think down in the comment section below, because this is absolute chaos. If you've enjoyed this video, slap a like on it, as I said at the start, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can find out the next time these lot are fighting each other, but also plenty of other stuff coming. I've got another video coming out tomorrow about every VAR decision that's been awful all season long. FTW's out on Friday, and I've maybe got a video going out over the weekend too. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye. Mbappe, please don't hurt me, I swear.